Hey everybody, Friendly Neighborhood Doc here. Wanted to talk to you tonight about Batman, Creature of the Night by Kurt Busiek and John Paul Leon. So let's go ahead and dig into this really cool hardcover, and I'll even tell you where I found it for a steal. Well, maybe I shouldn't have said steal. I mean, Batman might come after me. But I ended up finding this really cool hardcover at Ollie's in Millington for like $6. Normally it is $30, but this is the deluxe edition of Creature of the Night, which was a 4-part miniseries written by Kurt Busiek with art by John Paul Leon, and it was one of John Paul Leon's final projects before he passed, unfortunately, from cancer back in 2021. So I've always liked Kurt Busiek stuff from his days at Marvel doing Untold Tales of Spider-Man, and I've always loved John Paul Leon's artwork ever since I saw it in Earth X, the miniseries from Marvel back in the late 90s and early 2000s. So his art is moody. It really fits a Batman title, and I really miss this guy because at first, it just looks scratchy. It doesn't look like it's detailed. It doesn't look like there's a lot of story going on. But as you get into it, you can see the emotion in the facial features. You can see the emotion in the eyes almost. And I always thought that if I ever became an artist, I would want to draw like Todd McFarlane, and that I would do I don't know, like an 8-year run on The Amazing Spider-Man. That was always my utmost goal in life, to become an artist and to draw like McFarlane and show that detail down to the hair on the knuckles. But now you look at this emotion and the storytelling ability that John Paul Leon pulls out of such a simple facial feature, just a profile. And you realize this is the kind of guy that you want to be like. This is the guy that can run storytelling loops around other artists. But, like I said, he reminds me a lot, too, of Tommy Lee Edwards. Tommy Lee Edwards was one of his contemporaries, and his stuff reminds me a lot of that. But anyway, the story talks about Bruce Wainwright, and he's a kid who always really idolized Batman because his name was so close to Bruce Wayne, and that's the life that he always wanted to live. He wanted to be Batman, and he wanted to live in that world, and he wanted to see all of the fantastic things that Batman and Bruce Wayne got to see and live through, minus losing his parents, of course. But eventually that did happen. And through a stroke of fortunate, happy accidents, I would say, he ended up becoming as rich as Bruce Wayne. And he kept studying his parents' demise and studying how people like him had grown up and moved past what they had been through. And in the process of doing that, he learned how to use his wealth to help those less fortunate than himself. Sorry, guys, that's stepson making racket in the background. But he ends up finding this Batman creature, and it's like a creature. It's more bat than man. And who it turns out to be at the end of the day in the story is really interesting. You come to find out that Bruce had a stillborn twin. And just like most brothers, just like most siblings, they want to protect each other. They want to keep each other safe. So as that goes through the title, in the book, you see how the relationship between the brothers changes. And you see how Bruce has really tried his best not to be Bruce Wayne, but to do the right thing by other people. But you also see that it takes a mental toll on him as he goes through life. And he has to come to terms with who his brother is, how much good or bad this Batman character is doing, both in his own life and the lives of those that he quote-unquote protects. How much of it is a setup? How much of it is truly altruistic? And how much is it selfish that this character that came from his imagination is actually trying to protect him and only him? Not really those around him, not really those that he cares for, but just simply him. So it's a story about, did the Batman take over Bruce Wainwright? Or did Bruce Wainwright lose himself in the delusion of the character of Batman? So it's a really good psychological tale that gets to the bottom of both the Batman and Bruce Wayne, or in this case, Bruce Wainwright. But it's really a beautiful tale. It ends perfectly. And to me, it's one of the, it's nice to see when somebody who unfortunately dies as early as John Paul Leon did gets to have a capstone and a send-off like this. Not every great artist gets that. Unfortunately, Tim Sale didn't get to do this last Halloween story with Jeff Loeb. But Jeff and DC have lined up an excellent plethora of artists that will carry on and see this to completion in Tim's honor. And there can't really be much more said about a man than that. That people want to be around him and that they want to honor you when you fall. Because not everybody gets to live that life. Not everybody gets to, at the end of the day, truly say he was a good man or he was a good woman or she was a good woman and mean that. A lot of people give those platitudes when a man or a woman dies. Oh, she was a great, great person. She never did any wrong. Oh, he was just the nicest guy you'd ever meet. But at the end of the day, those platitudes are not what helps build a legacy and carve a legend out for that person. It's what they did while they were alive, how they impacted others' lives. And that's what Bruce Wainwright tried to do in this story. Positively impact others' lives, people that had gone through the same toils and struggles that he himself had. So, if you guys like that kind of stuff, check this book out. I can't recommend it. I'm not the world's biggest Batman fan. I've tried to get into the character. I like the Dark Knight detective part of him, but I don't have a lot of Batman books. I've got a lot of Spider-Man books, but I don't have a lot of Batman books. So, like I said, this comes with my highest recommendation, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.